Yo, what is going on, my good and nerdy people? It is your Normie Sensei Master Country with Normies to Nerds. What is up to all of my good people in the chat? Look, we got a great show this morning. This is the first of our morning streams starting every other Wednesday at 9:30. We'll be streaming here in the mornings thanks to my wonderful job. I got a little bit of flexibility, and we're going to be getting it here. And personally, I think I'm better fit for the mornings anyway than nights because, like, the personality and all this good stuff popping off on your cameras, it might not want to be the last thing you see going to bed. But either way, let's really get down to the nitty gritty of what we're here for. And I see everyone in here, like Jedi Mike, Adrian, Brian Connors, Ryan, what is going on, Burner Executive, Jareth, Cyber Coastal, Abby Case, all y'all, Mike Shield Porter, Mr. Talented Griffin, Chef Moriarty, all y'all, what is popping? Look, I want to get all those pleasantries out the way because y'all, I know why y'all are here, right? Like we got our OGs, but I know why y'all are here, right? Because we got the Iron Nerd himself in the building today. Talking about Mr. Josh Lucas coming all the way from the Nerd Venture Tower from the Den of Nerds. What is going on, Josh? How is it going? Look, if I had some radio effects, I put those little clapping.
Well, thanks, man. No, it's good to be here, bro. I love talking nerdy stuff with you. So very happy to be doing that. And I think you're one of the, smaller channels that I think can really pop off. And so I'm happy to be here, happy to support. I think we'll get some good content out of this stream. So yeah, man, I'm excited. It's a good time.
I'm excited too, bro. I'm definitely excited too because it's like, it's here, bro. Like it's here, and I'm not gonna waste too much time. Like I know time is limited. You got that Nerve Venture stream at 12. It's here, bro. Secret Wars,
Yes.
like the Phase 5 and the Phase 6. So I'm not gonna waste too much time. But I do want to touch on before we get into Secret Wars. Everybody, we give some people some time to get in here. Before we get on Secret Wars, I want to talk about this news with Daniel Cretton, right?
Mm-hmm.
About the not Secret Wars, Kang Dynasty. He's announced as a director. I'm personally in love with that selection. Like I wouldn't have never chose it. Like I wouldn't have never guessed it. But like now that it's been announced, like I'm in love with the brother. What is your take on him being chosen, and what do you think that says about him as a director?
Right. Well, first of all, I'll say that as soon as I saw the pick, I knew you would be really, really excited about it because I remember after the movie, I think it was in one of the streams, you said it was top 5 MCU for you, Shang-Chi. And at the time I was like, no, like Shang-Chi's like not there for me, but I knew I that stuck out to me, right? So I remembered that. So I knew you'd be super hyped on it. Now, I've went back and revisited Shang-Chi, I think multiple times at this point, and like it's straight fire. Like it's definitely, if not my favorite of Phase 4. If you take Spiderman out of the equation, it's probably still Multiverse of Madness for me, and then Shang-Chi. But I would argue that Shang-Chi is still one of the most fun of Phase 4, but still it has like a really serious tone. Like, what Destin was able to do with that film tonally, I think is kind of underrated. Like I think a lot of people don't talk about that because it does bombast, it does fun. It has what's gal's name? The kind of comedic relief gal. I forget her name.
Yeah, Katie Wong. But Aquafina.
Aquafina, yes. So it's got Aquafina right front and center as comedic relief, and yet still is able to strike a really serious tone. It's able to do this family dynamic really, really well, which I think might lead into some stuff with Dynasty, right? So I think it's a great pick. I'm a little confused as far as he has other projects he's already attached to, right? Wonder Man, and we've rumored 10 Rings show, and then maybe even Shang-Chi too. But like the prelude to Secret Wars, right? And sort of the first Avengers movie, and I think it'll be 4 or 5 years, is a big deal. So I don't know if I'm comfortable with him having his, being distracted at all, right? So
yeah,
I'd prefer him to just be focused on Kang Dynasty because I think it is that big of a deal. And you have to go into pre-production like right now, bro. There's 3 years away. So, but generally speaking, I do like the pick. And I think that it says a lot about kind of where Feige is at. I watched some commentary of it yesterday on social. And I think one of the things that I found interesting was there's a narrative, I guess, that maybe the Russos really wanted Secret Wars and didn't get it. and that Feige kind of wants to look ahead and not look back. I wonder what you think of that. What do you make of that
Well,
narrative?
see, the thing for me, that narrative to me didn't make sense because unless there's like leaks or rumors out there that I'm not aware of about something that's going on behind closed doors, it doesn't make sense to me because I feel like they chose Cretton because he put something together with Shang-Chi that was the closest to a vibe of what we get from a Russo movie in the MCU. Like
Sure.
Shang-Chi, when you think like you mentioned now, it touches on like the wild, crazy stuff, but still brings like real zen and brings the seriousness.
Yeah.
That tone we haven't. I feel like we haven't gotten that well of a balance of a tone out of a film than what we've gotten from Shang-Chi,
Yeah.
and that comes from Daniel. So with that being said, like I think that they were looking first off, like those movies are way too close for the Russos to be able to direct both of them, right?
Right.
Right,
Yeah.
like for both. So I think what they were looking at is tonally what to direct, like what director can we grab for this movie that would make the movie that comes out in 6 months later be like almost in the same type of tone, in the same type of wheelhouse. So to
Mm.
me, this gives me hope and support. I mean, it gives me hope and like looking forward that we're going to get a Russo brothers Secret Wars announcement anytime, any date.
Really? So
Yeah,
you still think Russo Secret Wars is coming,
I'm
huh?
still there. Like I'm
Okay.
still on it
Yeah,
because
yeah.
to me it's like they did this solely because of schedule. Like I feel like if they spaced out these two movies like they did Infinity War and Endgame, you would have the Russo brothers doing both of them. Like
Mm.
that's
Yeah.
where my head is at. Um, but at the end of the day, like to me, is you have to bring back the Russo. Like I would be nervous for Secret Wars if you do
Yeah.
not bring back the Russo brothers to keep it 100. Like I'm nervous
Yeah.
about who could really put that type of story together that's not the Russo brothers. And I think that Daniel Cretton is the perfect one to be able to at least work in that wheelhouse, to be able
Mm.
to work with Kang, break down Kang Dynasty, and have that lead into Secret Wars.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like, okay, so it's crazy because I feel you on that, right? Like, because I obviously like I fanboy for the Russos. I've been talking about Russo Secret Wars since I've been talking about Secret Wars, right?
Right.
So yeah, like I definitely get you, but I don't know, like something in watching yesterday and just watching kind of the breakdown of people's reactions. I kind of came to a place where I was like, you know, despite a lack of Russos, I'm still really hyped up and excited for Secret Wars. And I think the other thing is if you're just a normie or even if you're a hater, bro, and this is what I
Mhm.
think is really brilliant about what he's doing, is even if you're a hater, you cannot deny how ambitious and ridiculous it is to do what he's trying to do in 3 years. So I
Facts.
think that like regardless of Russo's, regardless of that, he's established this thing that, like, bro, like, we, like, what? 3 years away, two Avengers films back to back in a single year. It might not even be the only two, right? Because, like, there's Eternity War and, like, other things going on. So it's insanity. And I think that the hype of that is going to propel us forward no matter what. And I actually think that the Destin announcement could be Feige sort of getting out of in front of the narrative that the Russos are going to do this. I think 100% they are not. They signed to do Gray Man 2, right? So
Mhm.
I don't think they're doing either one of these movies. Now, could they do Eternity Wars? Sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe that's really what it is, because the other thing is we don't even really know, like, especially if the Fox characters are not in play, right? Dude, it's a swell right now. As like a Marvel fan, like there's so much going on. We just talked about yesterday this thing with maybe the mutants not being able to be used until 2025. So if you're the Russos and you want to use the mutants in your Secret Wars and you have this vision, and then Feige comes to you and he's like, well, our Secret Wars is actually going to be this, and we're not going to use these characters. Maybe that's not as appealing, and maybe the real Secret Wars will actually be Eternity Wars, and that will be what the Russos do. But yeah, I for me personally, bro, like I don't see the Russos being involved, but I do understand what you're saying. Like for sure, that's concerning,
Yeah.
right? Um, but Destin is, I think, the best choice for Dynasty out of the bunch. You know, out of all of the Phase 4 directors and everybody, like I feel like he's an incredible choice for Dynasty. Now, you said something kind of interesting just now, where you said you think that there'll be a similar tone between the two movies, Secret
Mhm.
Wars and I actually disagree.
Think it'd be
I
complete.
think
Okay.
yeah, no, I think there could be a tonal thread that pulls them together, which is this, universal stakes and all that, right? But I actually think that one of the reasons he's doing two different directors is that these are two wildly different films. Like that's kind of what I think. And I think they might flip what they did with Infinity War and Endgame,
Mhm.
where like Infinity War is the big bombastic fun movie, right? Endgame is really sad. I feel like Kang Dynasty is going to be very sad and very tonally, dreary, which again is why Destin I think is such a good fit for it.
Right.
But then I think Secret Wars is going to be like bombast and fun and cameo crazy and just the wildest poppy, stuff you've ever seen. And I think that kind of requires a slightly different touch. I agree. I can't stop thinking about Russo's and how perfect they would be for it.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know, man.
So, so look, you said that, and that makes perfect sense because when you think about at least how I'm feeling, and I didn't get a chance to catch your video yesterday, but
Yeah.
seeing the thumbnail and seeing Kang and then seeing Doom on the thumbnail, that's what I'm thinking is that Kang Dynasty will be the end of the Kang of Kang like plans falling through, and I think his plan's going to fall through because of Mr. Doom. Doctor
Okay.
Doom is is gonna be the one that f's up his failsafe. Like, bro, like I'm Kang Gang, and we're getting
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Secret Wars talk now for real. Like,
Mhm.
I'm Kang Gang all the way through. So, like, seeing everything planned out from what he's done from planning out phase one to this point in phase four, I think that his plan always has a failsafe. I think He Who Remains might have been a failsafe that was from the previous war. And to be real, like speculation wise, I think a lot of the stuff that happened in the first multiverse war that they talked about in Loki is going to go down exactly the same
Yeah.
in according to plan in this whole Secret Wars saga, multiversal saga. The only difference is that failsafe that he has to have He Who Remains at the end crafting everything will be thwarted by Doctor Doom. I feel like
Mm.
that is where we're going to be seeing Doctor Doom come up and take over with Secret Wars. That's where my head
Yeah.
is at. But bro, you've been I want to hear where you are theory wise on Secret Wars and where we're going to be going that transition from Kang's Dynasty. Where are you at with
Well, I mean, this is like the whole game. I think for the next couple of years is trying to find out, where are the clues? What is he doing? And we've obviously been theorizing and kind of studying about it for a while now. I had this really interesting theory that I have, I think, in like the back of yesterday's video, where this word dynasty, right? Like, what is a dynasty? A dynasty is a lineage that rules, right?
that?
So to me, I thought about Kang. I thought about how he's got all these different, versions of himself that are out there in the multiverse, and also in the Kang Dynasty run, he comes back with his actual blood son in as the Scarlet Centurion, right? And so like there's this idea of like Kang and his son ruling over Earth, right? And I started to think about like family and all these different things. And Reed and Doom are really important to the DNA of Secret Wars, and I would argue the entire Marvel comic universe, right?
Mhm.
So these are characters that aren't even in the MCU right now, but they're at the heart of it. Um, and I thought about how cool would it be if Kang is in the MCU confirmed to be a blood relative of both Doctor Doom and Reed Richards. And so this idea of dynasty and this idea of like him coming back and wanting to rule, I think it would be really intriguing if Doctor Doom himself was put in a position of, well, I've always wanted to conquer the world to save it. That's what this dude claims to be doing. This dude is a version of me, or this is my blood relative. I should probably work with this guy. You know
Wow.
what I mean? And that's so
Okay.
yeah. So I kind of see the scenario, and it's just a wild theory, right? But I kind of see the scenario of, because I was trying to think of in the first Secret Wars, right?
Hmm.
The Beyonder just brings the heroes and the villains, and it's essentially an experiment to see which is more powerful, good or evil, right? He's like, yo, like fight it out. Here's the villains, here's the heroes, here's Battle World. The winner will get basically whatever they want. And it's just an experiment. And you have you have the Avengers, you have the X-Men and Magneto weirdly on the hero side, and they all fight about Magneto. And then on the villain side, of course, there's a lot of infighting and all that. But Doom tricks the villains, and he ends up getting the power of the Beyonder. Even in the first Secret Wars, he takes the power of the Beyonder. He reprograms Ultron, does all this really crazy stuff, right? Um, and then the Beyonder comes in and like takes his power back and boots Doom out, and that's how it all ends. But I was like, how do you bring that energy and that spirit to Secret Wars? Well, I think that you need villains versus heroes.
Right.
And so, regardless of whether or not Doom is going to sort of at the last minute take over, thwart Kang's plan, which is something that's obviously on the table because that's Doom, right?
Hmm.
But even if that doesn't happen, I believe that you will get a group of villains versus a group of heroes. And I think that there could be a Kang variant leading both of them, which would be crazy. So I don't know, man. Like we still have a lot of clues to decipher. Hopefully a lot of post-credit scenes, hopefully a lot of teases in big films, and then we'll have a better idea. But that's where my head's at for now.
Yeah, and I feel you. Like, I like the way that goes because personally, like, I'm still. It's a lot to catch up to Secret Wars and to read through the Secret Wars stuff. I'm still
Mhm.
reading through through the time runs out. I'm
Yeah.
still trying to get there to where we actually get to the actual Secret Wars part
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah,
So
it was 3 years of like a book a month, sometimes 2 books a month. It was nuts,
sheesh.
dude. Oh, it was nuts. Yeah.
So I'm still trying to catch up there. But one thing I am curious about too is seeing what Feige would deem too far for audience that comes from sequels. Like, right, like
Mhm.
what he'll say, you know what, this is too complex. Like, this is too, because it already seems like they're changing up incursions a little bit, or like having
Mhm.
some type of switch on how we're looking at the incursions thing, at least on the surface of what they're doing with Doctor Strange.
Yes.
Um, so like, and that to me is a little bit confusing of figuring out what an incursion is like in the MCU. Like, how can you come to stop an incursion in the MCU based off of what it looked like in Doctor Strange? Like, to me, that looked completely different. Like two universes merging instead of one blowing. Instead of them both being destroyed or what have
Sure.
you.
Yeah.
So that's like, to me, like, what are they going to be doing? I think they might be using a lot of Kang variants to maybe replace the Beyonders or builders, if you will, so
Mhm.
that they won't have to worry about the complexity of explaining that or have bringing that type of OP like level power in there. I'm not. That's where my head is at. But at the end of the day, I say that and think that just 3-4 years ago, I thought that they would never put the snap
Right.
in the
Mhm.
MCU, and they did. So it's just that's one of the things that very well intrigues me about like making theories about coming up with this. Is like, how sweaty are we truly going to be getting here? How nerdy are we truly going to be getting here? And bro, it just makes me hype thinking about where we can ever go
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
all of this. But let me ask you this here though. I'm gonna pull the slate back up.
Okay.
He skipped the phase 6.
Mhm.
He skipped straight to phase 6.
Yeah.
What do you think was not announced in phase 6? Like, we got Fantastic Four. We know that's going to tie in heavy.
Yeah.
What do you think that wasn't announced in phase 6 that's going to like be one of those like you must see movies that sets up for Secret Wars? And
Yes, I thought a lot about this ever since I saw your question when you sent it to me yesterday, and I was like, damn, like what would be on there, right? And I've got a couple of characters that I think will be possibly developed for big projects, and it's Doctor Doom and it's Wanda, right? So if there's really a children's crusade thing happening, you know what I mean, which would, by the way, involve a variant of Kang, Doom, and Wanda, right? And so we're hearing that that's coming, right? And
right,
that's the perfect setup for some of this stuff. And I agree with you. Like, how deep is he going to go? How nerdy is he going to go? I have a ridiculous video coming out today about Eternity Wars and how he's going to go even bigger after Secret Wars and like all of these theories and evidence and things that I found out there. But yeah, this dude he's brilliant at piecemealing it out because he needs to bring normies along, and I think he understands that. So that's a totally safe point. But as far as these projects, I would say something Doctor Doom, something Wanda. I'm very curious about how deep the Fantastic Four is actually going to go with regards to that. Are you going to get a Council of Reeds in some other project? So
mhm,
I'd probably say those, while also maybe the Eternals, right? Maybe in a
Mm,
sequel to the Eternals, because we've had this theory, and you and I have been kind of talking about this in various chats and stuff for a while now, is this whole, like, what are the Celestials? What is Orisham? Is that connected to Wanda? Because you see those very similar symbols, right, from the Celestials in Wanda's shrine. You
right,
know what I mean? On the cover of the Darkhold. What is
right.
going on with that? Like, what is the deal with that? So, is there an architecture to the multiverse that has to do with these celestial beings? Like, I would say so. And possibly something like that could be a good one too for him to like establish before we get into the Secret Wars, you know?
Yeah, and that's a very good point because I mean we're going to get to that one next as far as like what's after Secret Wars here, especially after we got the little bit of tea from that Reddit leak.
Dude,
Um,
yeah.
so like, but for me personally, like I'm thinking Doctor Strange movie is where a lot of setup is going to come.
That's a great
Uh,
point. Yeah.
for me, thinking about where we left off with Multiverse of Madness, I feel like we're due for a Doctor Strange movie. If not, we're not getting it in Phase 5. I don't think. I don't think there's any announcements that
Yeah.
will be coming to happen that quickly. But I could see a Doctor Strange movie happening maybe after Kang Dynasty, um, happening and go right into Secret Wars. And
Hmm.
here's the thing, bro. I'm still high, and even this even has me more high on the point out. And I think I might have brought this up on one of your call-ins of having that Fantastic Four movie being set in the multiverse.
Yeah.
I'm even more high on that being in an alternate universe. Maybe not the 838. Like I'm on two paths right here. Like the properties that I think will be coming out in 838, like X-Men 93. I mean X-Men 97.
Hmm.
I think that's an 838. I think Spiderman
Mm,
is an 838. I
yeah.
think they're building out that 838 to build up one universe for us to get attached to through animation.
Yeah.
But for the Fantastic Four, I mentioned this before. I need Reed to really be like deep in this shit, like
Yeah.
deep in this superhero shit before we go to Secret Wars. I don't need Reed to just be popping up in the MCU. I don't even think the blip is enough time for Reed to like build up his powers in the MCU for it to make sense for him to have such an impact, such a takeover above everybody else that we've known so far in the MCU.
Yeah.
Like to me, is that's the better way to go. And also to like, and I'm not going to divert the conversation. That is a great way to include T'Challa in
Yes.
Secret Wars.
Yep.
Have them figure it out, and then a great way to bring the T'Challa, a multiversal T'Challa into the MCU, and also a multiversal Fantastic Four into the MCU as they're figuring out what is happening with the incursions or what have you.
Hmm.
They end up getting trapped in our universe, and now
Yeah.
they're trying to stop it from happening to other universes.
Right. Well, at
That
the
is,
very least, they'll be trapped on Battle World together, right? I
yeah,
think like that's a brilliant place
at the
to
very
play
least.
there too. Yeah.
Yeah, at the very least there. But I just like to bring them in from the multiverse because, like I said, it's just we can still get those beats there of
Hmm.
being able to do that. Also, as well, when you think about what putting a Black Panther in like Civil War did to bring people out to see Civil War after it came
Hmm.
out, I think that would be a huge boost for a Fantastic Four movie that's always falling flat in theaters. So
Sure.
it's to me that is a wise way to go. Now, I know my theory brain is usually runs on like a 10% chance of possibility of this stuff
Yeah.
ever
Yeah. Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
But but for me, this is probably one of the higher chances when it comes to my theories and to making it work. Um,
Yeah.
and I definitely would love to see that go down. But like you said, moving past Secret Wars, bro, I heard you spout this out yesterday on the stream.
Yeah.
Can you just get into it a little bit of
Yeah.
where you think we're like really like getting bigger
Yeah, it's
coming out of
hard.
it?
Right, right. It's kind of honestly, dude, I've explained it to a couple of different people because like I was like tweeting some vague stuff on I think it was Monday when I was doing the research because I went back and I read Eternity Wars. I read some stuff with this character, the first firmament. I started like looking into cosmic entities and just like how all of that could work, right? And I even had some people that are like sources, right? Some insiders like hit me up and they were like, "What are you talking about, bro?" So I was here. Here's kind of where it's at. And in the video today is, I think, going to really explain it all really well. But the TLDR on it is this: there, I think, in terms of because Feige's dude, like I will write a book about Kevin Feige someday. Like I just think that he is such a brilliant producer, storyteller, business person, like just really like the Michael Jordan of this shit, right? And it's crazy to see what he's doing. But I think you might say doing Secret Wars in 3 years is crazy because what's left? Like, what could you possibly do after that? Well, if Secret Wars is the sort of shrinking down of us of this multiverse and then expanding it back out, right? Like essentially, like all of the multiverse will disappear, or it will hang in the balance of what happens there, right? We're not exactly sure, right? And then it will likely end as it has every single time with the universe and the multiverse repopulating itself. Well, I think one of the only things you can do that is bigger than that, that is more bombastic than that, is something that's locked into this story in the Eternity War, where essentially there was a, just like Eternity himself, there was an embodiment of the very first universe. So before all of the other universes, there was just a singular one. And this character has watched as the multiverse has grown and grown and grown. And he's watched the multiverse destroy itself and be reborn, I think like 7 different times. Okay. And between the 7th and 8th reincarnation of the multiverse, this character is able to grab the multiversal eternity. So not the eternity that's in a singular universe. That's like a piece of an essence, almost like a Horcrux, right? So this character grabs the multiversal version of eternity and like chains him against the wall, dude. It's like some Greek shit where he's just like, God, I'm like chained up, right? Dude, it's wild. And then in the Ultimates universe, they basically like catch wind of this and what this character does, and it's an evil version of Reed Richards called the Maker, who's the Reed Richards of the Ultimates universe. And he destroys what is known as the superflow. And the superflow is the space between universes. And so the entire multiverse just instantly becomes a singular universe. And there's like a bajillion Earths and like a bajillion heroes and like all these crazy things. And then, bro, it gets so wild. Like it's almost hard to like, it's hard to explain because I also don't think he's going to directly do this.
Right.
But this is the seed of the idea. So the seed of the idea is we'll do a Secret Wars, we'll do Battle World with alternate versions of characters. And then I think in the phase after that, the end cap will be the fight for all of these different universes, but in a different way. Instead of seeing different versions of them all in a condensed place and sort of shrinking it down, you will see a massive expansion and you'll see all of these different crazy versions of characters. Like there's a version of Galactus that's like all golden because he brings life to planets rather than destroys them. And he helps Ego become Ego Prime, which is this like massive version of Ego. This is where the Infinite comes from. This is, dude, it's so wild. Like he is just going to ramp it up. And I think that Secret Wars is just the beginning of getting audiences to be like, oh yeah, multiversal versions. And then if you're like, oh, this is the 8th, which by the way, my other theory, and I haven't talked about this publicly, so I'll give you an exclusive.
Look, y'all know Avengers, lean in.
Check this out. I think I've realized why Feige is going to call the MCU the 616 and how it's actually canonically connected to the comic universe. And this will blow minds. But in the comics right now, I think we're at 7, 8, maybe 9 as far as the different iterations of the multiverse. I believe that Feige will either make the MCU the first, second, or the like way in the future incarnation of the multiverse. So this could be 616 thousand incarnations of multiverse ahead. So what that allows him to do is be like, oh no, yeah, this is 616. This is where it all goes.
Right.
With comics, and then allow an infinite amount of creativity and rebooting and fun to be had in the 616 from comics. So they're technically the same universe, just different incarnations. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm looking heavy at the chat right now to see Mr. Trev. See what he's going to be saying about this shit, because he's going to have something.
Yeah. Trev's like, sounds like Final Crisis. That's Trev. Which, I mean, I guess a little, but,
But no, like I like that. Like I really like that, bro, and where they're going in that direction as far as could it be the six? Like, could that actually be the actual 616? But down the line, that's some true mind blowing stuff because
It
like
is, right?
I've always wondered, like, and I brought this up too about the 616 being what makes the 616 special. Like, what
Hmm.
makes and I definitely think the 616 is going to be built up for that. But
Yeah.
something in there that you said about Reed in the Ultimate Universe becoming the one who destroys the Superflow.
Hmm.
That's why I think that 616. That's why I think 838 is coming back, bro.
Right. Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
why I think 838 is coming back because I think now that Wanda has desecrated him, like just really the confidence that he had when Wanda pulled up. Bro,
Hmm.
like, it's not even the fact that he got killed. If they find a way to bring him back to life, which I think they can, I think you think that they can too as well.
Yes.
The confidence that he has there is the hit that took is more damaging than getting killed, bro. Because
Yes, I
now
agree.
he's gonna use his smarts in the worst way possible, and I think become that evil type of thing that we saw in the old well, it was the Ultimate Universe in that opening, right? Was
Yes.
that the
Yeah.
Ultimate or in the
With what?
opening of Secret Wars where that universe
Yeah.
where
Hmm. Yep. It's
okay.
the Ultimates versus 616. Yep.
Okay, yeah, because it was like I said, I started reading that first, and then I was like, wait a minute,
Hmm.
that's not. I need to take a step back and go back and really catch up on that
Right.
more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So cool. So yeah, that's where that's why I'm putting my eggs in the basket. That like they're going to be building up to 383 inside of
Yep.
things and to build up to this, and then beyond Secret Wars, like I really am interested to see what we're going to be getting with the Celestials. That's why I definitely agree that the Eternals would be a great one on that slate, and hopefully Chloe Zhao isn't directing something like that because I don't think it's going to be more so about the Eternals than it is about them finding out what the hell is going on
Sure.
with the Celestials, and Arrows should be involved.
I agree.
Yeah, Arrows, Star Fox should be involved in that pretty heavy.
Yep.
Um, so with that, there, look, like I think we can cap off the Secret Wars talk there, because like, bruh, it's heading beyond that, like it's just mind blowing. Like, and I can't really wrap my head around like going through an eternity war. Like we just got introduced
Yeah.
to eternity. Like I can't wrap my head around the fact of us really getting there to eternity wars. But one thing I will say, and you brought up too, I think it's a great point, is that with Secret Wars, when it was announced, my first feel was that, oh no, this is like too quick to be like saying
Hmm.
Secret Wars. But at the
Hmm.
end of the day, I think I'm kind of agreeing with you. I think it's a launching point to the actual Secret Wars saga, possibly. Like
Yeah.
we may be
Exactly.
looking at
Yeah.
the multiverse saga, and we could cut it off here and launch into a different saga, whether it's the Celestial or saga or
Yeah.
um, something to restructure the universe. Heading that way, I think is a great way to do it. And like I said,
Yeah.
you don't got the rights to the X Men right now, like you said, to bring into 2025. So
Yeah.
I think that's what they're really using X Men 97 show
Yeah, yeah,
for.
yeah, dude. No, I feel you. I just think that I guess maybe one of the best ways to kind of explain it to folks is that all of the fun that will be created in Secret Wars, which is I think the like what the Secret Wars movie promises to me
Mhm.
is heroes versus villains, but not just the ones from the MCU. Like, I think that's the whole idea, right? He wants to bring back the other Spider-Man and have them play a significant role. He wants to bring back Patrick Stewart. He really wants Hugh Jackman back. He wants these characters back to be a celebration of all of Marvel's past cinematic, history and
Facts.
done under the MCU banner. So that all of that fun, I think moving past Secret Wars is going to be doubled down on, but in sort of a different way. Whereas I think Secret Wars will really rely on a lot of those cameos and that nostalgia and those other things. Moving past Secret Wars, it's almost like this. Like if we got a RDJ back, right? Verse maybe I don't know, like Tom Cruise Iron Man or something like that, right? Like that is really spicy flavor. But I think past Secret Wars, if you meet a character that's like Iron Man had a daughter with She-Hulk somewhere out in the universe, in the multiverse, and you have a She-Hulk Iron Man just like badass variant thing, right?
Hmm.
I think that that kind of comic book spice is what's coming after Secret Wars, because he's going to so strongly establish connections with all these different characters, their archetypes and things, that like you get spice that wouldn't work right now, like a Tony Stark She-Hulk descendant, it popping up in a movie right now doesn't work. You know what I mean?
Facts.
But I think that after Secret Wars, you've sort of set the stage for things like that to happen, right? Because there's versions in the comics where they never left Secret Wars. In fact, one of my favorite characters is um she's called Guardian, I believe, but she's the daughter of Rogue and Steve Rogers on Battleworld. She wields Mjolnir, she wields Captain America's shield. Crusader, that's her name. She is an absolute badass, dude. But she's kind of like, she almost doesn't work before Secret Wars, you know what I mean?
Right.
And before you kind of have that, you know, of okay, well, this is what that was, and somewhere out there's a version of that, you know. So I just think that he has figured out how to level that game up for the next 10 years, which is ridiculous, dude, you know? So
And I did see in the comments earlier, and I'm like looking at the comments, but I got to focus in the convo, bro. But I saw, I think it was Carl who said, it's a little bit too much for normies. Honestly, after Endgame, like I don't think normies give a damn really about understanding the true shit of what's going on. Like as long as
mhm,
stuff is being thrown at the face, as long as we get something like the last hour of Endgame, like as long as it's like crazy, they're not going to dig that deep into the logic
yeah.
of what's going on. But the brilliant thing is, if a normie does want to dig into that, we got channels like yours, channels like mine,
Hmm.
places in
Hmm.
YouTube that will be able to explain what the hell is actually going on with these folks. Because, like, to
Yeah.
be real, like, I wonder, out of the massive amount of people that saw Endgame, how
Hmm.
many of them really actually care to know how time travel works in the MCU? Like,
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
yeah, it's like that was maybe one of the more sweatier parts of the MCU, like explaining the
But think
importance
about
of
how
moving.
brilliantly it's presented in the film. You know,
Yeah,
Scott Lang is talking about Back to the Future and stuff. Like these are references that people understand. Like that,
right.
I think, and also too, I would say, like, I bet most Marvel normies could explain to you right now the difference between the magic that Thor uses and the magic that Doctor Strange uses. Like, I bet they'd have some kind of understanding of that.
Mhm.
And 5, 10 years ago, no way in hell a normie would be able to explain that. So, like, I just think that they do a great job of making that accessible for normies. I agree that, like, right now, dude, no, that's way out of reach for normies. But I think by the time we get there, they'll be along for the ride. And kind of like to your point too, a lot of them probably don't care. They don't care to understand it deeply. They just don't want to be so confused that they're taken out of it. You
Right.
know what I mean? So I think that we'll get there. You know what I mean with it. So
And look, I see Adrian say, "Wait, Thor has magic." Look, I was about to pull up a point. It's like I'm not sure if a lot of normies realize that Thor actually operates through magic. Um,
right. Well,
but
it's magic
but
science. You know, it's
if
like,
you're a normie in here, that's what you come to Normies Nerds for, to learn shit, learn
yeah.
shit. All right, and look, by the
Mhm.
way, if y'all are just popping up in here, thanks so much. Look, we never had anywhere close to this many people in here on the live stream before. It's absolutely kind of giving me chills a bit. So we're
That's
on the
cool.
grind of 500 subs. If you are not subbed here, please hit that sub button and hit that notification bell button as well. But look,
Yeah,
bro,
man.
look, I got you for about 20 more minutes. I want to
Yeah.
ask you, what is what what is the biggest thing that you're looking forward to? I mean, we haven't even touched on Phase 5 yet. So
Yeah.
outside of Secret Wars,
Yeah.
what's intriguing you, whether it's announced or unannounced?
Yeah.
What is like the one of the biggest projects or storylines that you're looking forward to?
Right. So I'll say, you know, Loki season 2, but don't really have to go deep on it because I think that you know, I think it's going to set up more Kang stuff, more Secret War stuff, and also Squadron Supreme is rumored, and that's incredible for me. Um, I think the Captain America New World Order is really intriguing. I don't know that they're going to go that route with Hydra Cap, but I mean that title just kind of made me think
Right.
maybe that's yeah. I just think that would be so powerful, bro. And then like basically like you know imagine a film with where Mackie has to fight against young Steve basically, and like dude, come on, that's not an easy fight, right? So like he actually has to overcome emotionally and physically that struggle. And then I kind of imagine this scenario where, like, at the end of that film, young Steve in the Infinity with Mjolnir from Endgame pops out and like grabs him up or something like that. That would be incredible. Thunderbolts is really intriguing, dude. Like that's really intriguing. And is that going to be somewhat of like the Avengers until we get it, in 2025? I hope so. And I was just talking to Elisa this morning about, maybe, she said maybe She-Hulk will explain why Wong is fighting with Abomination in Shang-Chi.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so, like, dude, there's a lot going on that we don't know. We're not processing. So Thunderbolts is incredibly intriguing to me. Daredevil for 18 episodes, bro. Like, that's wild. And I feel like Charlie is doing everybody else's stuff. Like, he's literally like showing up at everybody's project to help amp it up. But this is why. This is his earning it. This is like Harrison Ford doing all the Star Wars shit so that he could do indie, right? He's like, this is what I really want to do. So I absolutely can't wait for that. And there's rumors that like maybe Wilson Fisk will be the mayor of New York City by the time that rolls around. And like, bro, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's just a lot of juice there.
I haven't heard a lot of rumors for Daredevil. So like, to be honest, like my Daredevil hype, I'm hyped to have him back, but like my hype for the show in itself hasn't really been that high on Daredevil. Like I got a lot of my Daredevil picks from Netflix, so it's like I'm kind of serious. I like my hype for that isn't as high as it is for other stuff. But one thing you did bring up was like New World Order and Thunderbolts. To me, those are like wild cards a little bit. Because like when we saw New World Order, my immediate thought was, okay, bet he's going to be trying to undo the order that's being put in place by the Thunderbolts. Like he's going to like be trying to take down Val or whoever is like the true leader of the Thunderbolts. That's what New World Order is going to be in order to like restore the Avengers and like maybe get like a new Avengers or something out of that.
Yeah,
all that shit was blown up when I saw this video, when I saw this picture up here, and it was like, well, it's going to be coming out right before. So to me now, like the Hydra Cap thing is where I think would make a lot of entertainment. Like it would make like a great movie and a lot of entertainment sense. I am though like curious to see if we get that sweaty with Hydra Cap. And I don't think it's gonna. I don't even know if really considering it that sweaty is like that big. But again, too, like when we're looking at Normies, and I have a feeling, and to be honest, like looking at Phase 5, like I know we have a path of where we're going. Right. Phase 5 to me is still going to have a lot of Phase 4 type of movies in it.
Sure.
And that's in projects. Like I think Blade is going to feel very Phase 4.
Yep.
Guardians of the Galaxy, like
totally.
I think it will have a bigger tie-in than Blade will, but it's still going to maybe feel Phase 4. Phase 4s. So that's like that kind of had me out there and threw me for a loop. But I mean, I'm very interested. I'm not a huge Mackie fan, but anytime you can get me there, I'm hyped. The only thing is, I wish it was Russo's directing.
Oh,
because I think the Russos would be the only one to make me put aside my judgment for Mackie and to be able to actually for what it is. But for me, look, bro, I don't know. It might just be a brother to brother thing with Mackie. I'm just really not, especially after what we got from Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like, Mackie, it's the story that's going to do it for me for Captain America. But I'm very, very high on Thunderbolts. Like I'm curious to see what they're going to do if Doctor Doom is going to rise up in Thunderbolts or something like that, and really take prominence in that role there. And one thing, I kind of threw out the lob ball of, if it's unannounced, but we haven't got that World War Hulk announcement yet.
Yeah, dude.
But like I'm very effing excited to see where we could go with that, like, and to lead into Phase 6. Now, look, I don't think that I think these phases here, and you might agree, I think we're going to be having that storyline of multiversal, bigger implications to the saga, and then that storyline of what the hell is going on Earth, so that when all of these people are brought into Secret Wars or Kang Dynasty, we'll know what's going on with
exactly.
them.
Yes, exactly.
Story. So I feel like Thunderbolts and all this stuff might actually be, while this could be a good way to put it, the new Avengers. This could be the new Avengers run right here, right? Like when we're looking at like the multiversal stuff that's going on, like that could be like the new Avengers run that's going on simultaneously with what was it, the Avengers run or the Infinity?
Yeah, there was New Avengers. New Avengers was like the Illuminati stuff, and then Avengers, and then eventually Avengers World. But like one of the things that happened with those threads that was really interesting was the Illuminati very early on, they memory wipe Cap. and they
Mhm.
kick him out because he's too noble. He's not going
Right.
to let them do what they do. He finds out about it, and then about halfway through the run, old man Captain America, being grumpy as hell, takes the full power of Shield and the Avengers and tries to hunt down the Illuminati while they are trying to save the multiverse. And I was like, dude, that's really fun. So I don't know if there's the ability for them to do something like that between those two movies. But yeah, I agree, man. They're going to do the multiverse stuff, the multiverse tie-ins, but then they're also just going to do Supernatural with Blade. You know, they're going to do Cosmic with the Marvels. They're going to do Earthbound, seemingly at the end of Phase 5, right? With you know, Captain America, Thunderbolts, and Daredevil all being major grounded characters and teams. So yeah, they've got a lot of stuff going on. I think that Quantumania, Loki, you know, maybe one of the end cap films in a post
Mhm.
credit scene or something like that. That's going to be kind of your multiversal fuel. But yeah, there's plenty of Marvel stuff, and I think this is the question for Marvel fans is, um, are you okay with now, and are you comfortable with, you know, stuff just kind of being for the sake of its own thing, and then some of it tying in, because that's what you're looking at. You know, that's basically what the plan I think for the rest of the MCU is going to look like, and until they change it, maybe in the future. But I actually think it's a good formula because you can't just do what you've done before. I
Right.
do think that like things are accelerating, fan appetite is accelerating, and I think as much as maybe we complained about certain phase 4 things, at the end of the day, it's way better than like, you know, what's going on with Star Wars or DC.
Exactly.
I want all of it. You know, I want the dessert and I want the meal and I want all of that. So I'm I'm comfortable, bro. You know what I mean?
I'm
Like,
comfortable too. I think people will get used to the standard of like you got your main chicks, then you got your side chicks.
yeah,
Like that, like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's really what we're getting at here. Like everything's not going to be a home run. Every show is not for you, but at the same time, you know, I'm not going to use that as an excuse for them to put together an ass show. Like at the
Right.
end of the
Oh,
day, like the shows
100%.
need to be better, but everything's not going to be a home run. But at least the quality of the content should be meet the level. And I've said this before, like even though Phase 4 has been falling off a little, like has fallen off for folks a little bit, it's still not. I'm trying to think of it to make sure before I say this if there's anything in that bottom. I still don't have anything from Phase 4 in my bottom 5, or maybe even in my bottom like 7 of
Yeah.
MCU properties. Like we're not there in Phase 4 to where we've gotten anything that bad that is down in those in the gully. Like it's down there with the Iron Man 3s of the world. Like
Sure.
there has
The
not been that type
Yeah,
of.
I would honestly say the only one for me that's close is probably Thor.
Mhm.
Love and Thunder was, in my
Yeah,
opinion,
well, it's
pretty
not.
bad. You know,
I forgot Thor came out, bro.
I know, right? But like that is probably the lowest one for me, and then maybe Falcon and the Winter Soldier is like after that. But you know, there's a huge asterisk on kind of both of those movies, right? And it's like, or both those projects. It's a pandy, dude. Like, you know, like I don't know
I
what
ain't
the
putting
fuck
panty.
happened in Love and Thunder. Like
I'm
honestly,
not putting
I
panty on Thor. I don't care. I think if the pandy never happened,
I would
that
say
Thor
this. How
movie
about
should have
this?
been ass.
Maybe it's this. Maybe it's a combo of the Pandy and Taika's
It's all right.
brain.
I do that.
You know what I mean? Because, like, basically, in my opinion, I feel like Taika is Taika, and then as the world was burning down, like you expect that man to just not go, but like he went nuts, dude. There was like
He
all these
went.
crazy stories and pictures from the set, and I am absolutely sure that that film production and post production was an absolute nightmare because he went crazy, dude. You know? So,
Jedi Mike says Moon Knight 2, the Doctor is that Doctor Strange 2? So I guess it'll be Doctor Strange 3 and
yeah,
Spidey 4 missing or hitting in Phase 6.
it's true.
Yeah. Well, I would like to see a Spider-Man movie in Phase 5. Um,
Yeah.
because I think Spider-Man is no longer dealing with this multiversal stuff. I like to see that be grounded. Um, so
Yeah.
it's well, I don't want to say it like that. He's not dealing with the multiversal like
What about
what's
El
happening with
Muerto,
Kang.
dude? Do you think El Muerto is gonna pop up on Secret Wars?
We
Like,
don't
do you
say
think?
that here. We don't do that here.
We don't do that.
We don't do. No.
Yeah.
Oh no, but like I hope. Like didn't they say though? Like I thought they separate. Like I thought we got a pretty good separation from the Sony. Like I don't know. I think it's an article or something that came back a while back. That we got a
Yeah.
pretty good separation because because at this point, Sony's below DC to me.
No, no.
Yeah,
Damn.
Sony's below DC. Like you can't ride the waves of Tom Holland to get your shit all the way up. Like they got to kind of
It
prove.
is pretty wild that they've tried to do that.
Yeah, it's like no, you're not gonna try to trick me into believing that your shit is real. Like that's
I
not
know, right?
that's not happening.
With the vulture post credit scene and
You're
everything.
not gonna try to trick me. Like nah,
Yeah.
like you're not gonna do that to me. But look,
Yeah.
let me like kind of switch the topic here a little bit. And we got like 10 minutes left here.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things to me, and it's been really, really understated, that came out of the whole entire Comic-Con weekend, even starting with that Deadpool and Logan news coming to Disney Plus, that is the fact that Marvel Zombies is going to be TVMA.
Yep.
That gives me so much hope and so much pride that that Feige is realizing, maybe thanks to the boys, he's
Yeah.
realizing that we're grown-ups. We know how to differentiate certain pieces of content. Like we can still get this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Feige is seeing what the boys is doing, or you think there's any indication that like he is maybe getting a change of heart, or he's maybe working something on Disney? I don't even know if it's a Feige change of heart. It might just be like a Disney change of heart.
Sure. Yep.
That he's working on to that we're actually going to be getting more gritty content, more TVMA content, more rated R content here. That will like answer some of the things that people saying, wow, the boys is doing things that the MCU can never do. Those type of things. You think that's
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. I think he's a student of pop culture. You know, he always talks about the old Superman movies and the Dawners and he came up in the game doing like 13 movies before doing the MCU stuff. So yeah, I think he's been heavily in it. He used to talk about the DC movies like a little bit more. So yeah, I think he watches all that stuff. I think he understands that the boys and Invincible and some of these other things are really connecting in some ways because of the maturity. And so yeah, dude, I totally think that he's understanding of that. The question is Disney, of course. But here's the thing. Feige has never been more powerful than ever. And there's something that Mark Fernandez said to me on Monday that I thought was really wild. Like he came on Nerd Theory a little bit and we were just talking about like Feige and stuff. And he was like, Feige is the most powerful producer currently, and it's not even close. How many of his movies are in the top 10 grossing of all time? And at a time when Disney's stock is down 60-70% year to date, and it's like literally everybody's frightened, everybody's worried. There's a lot of contraction in the economy and things like that. I think he's more powerful than ever. And he also has data to be able to like take to Disney to get them to maybe budge on these decisions. Because yeah, man, like it's crazy that the Marvel Zombies is TVMA. That's I agree with you that it's way crazier than people give it credit for, because it's not just a TVMA project, it is a TVMA animated project. And Disney's history is animation. It all started with an animated mouse. So for them to say, oh, animation, which has always been our way to connect with family and young people, let's do this with our biggest brand. Let's do a TVMA show with zombies that's animated. Like there's a lot they had to get over to allow that to happen. And I think it shows a little bit of the changing of the times, changing of the guard, and Feige's power, because dude, he is a powerful dude, bro. You know what I mean? Which is again why I think I low-key think he didn't want Russo's.
Okay.
Yeah, I low-key think he didn't want the back.
Do you think it's what, like a ego type of thing?
A little bit of ego thing in a sense. And it's something I saw Grace talked about this in her video a little bit yesterday. She said, he wants to prove to everybody that it's not the Russos, but it's Feige that is the secret sauce of all this.
He does have
what I mean? Yeah.
Like the Russos are responsible for my top 3. Like,
oh yeah, the Russos were glorious, dude. It was insane. Yeah. Like it's crazy to go back and watch those movies. They're so damn good, dude. So yeah,
Infinity War, Infinity War, Civil War, and Winter Soldier. Well,
those are incredible.
Civil War, like they flip flop for me at more than 2.
Yeah.
And then Civil War for me, number 3 is my favorite shit. I mean, that's everything about Civil War. Like I really like. I mean, aside from some of the things not making sense, like I never was still think it makes sense that Cap had his stance. Like Cap's dickheadness in that movie still pisses me off to this day. Because if you watch Ultron and see how pissed off he got at Tony and said we'll win together or we'll lose together, Then see him in the next Avengers film throw all that shit out the window for Bucky pisses me off like every single time. But
Yeah,
I
it's a
digress.
flaw. It's definitely
I digress. I digress.
Mhm.
But that's definitely a great point. So I mean, I did ask you though, like I sent you one of those questions. If not the Russos on Secret Wars, who do you
Yeah.
think would have Secret Wars in good hands?
So I think it's John Watts. I think John Watts is the guy, and the only thing that would make that not possible, I think, is this new Star Wars show. But that's going into production real quick, right? So, whatever one he's doing, I think it's Skeleton Crew, they're working on that and they're doing that kind of ASAP. And so he can maybe do pre-production for that during his Star Wars stuff, but I think John Watts is the pick because I mean Spider-Man No Way Home was a phenomenon. I think it's definitely the most celebrated movie for Marvel in the past couple of years. Dude, Spider-Man No Way Home was so good that you even had like your usual like sort of negative, grifting channels literally doing like live streams and videos praising the film, right? Now they will tell you stuff about how like, oh, well, it's only good because it's not woke. That's obviously not true and really stupid to say.
Right.
But the macro point is that even folks like that were crazy about that movie. So when you have lightning in a bottle like that, when you literally have something that does what everybody wants to do, and that's get everybody to cheer for you, I think it's a totally feel good story and like absolutely the right call to get John Watts to do it. Again, the only problem is that Star Wars show for me.
Dude, I don't know if we're in the like we kind of came in sync, but John Watts is my choice too as well.
Mm.
And I think it definitely makes sense too, the fact that he's taken off of Spider-Man 4, that he's going
And Fantastic Four, I believe.
Right, fantastic. It's Fantastic Four, right?
Correct. Yeah.
My mind was he was on Fantastic Four, but I think he is leaving the Spider-Man franchise too.
Mm-hmm,
I think they announced that as well too. Fantastic Four is the news I was thinking of.
But Sony said they expect him back though.
They expect him.
That's what Sony said.
I don't believe shit Sony said.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, who cares what they say, right?
Look, like Sony could call me rich for all I care, and I'd be like, damn, no, that's not right. But no, but no, like I agree. Like it's John Watts for me. Like I think he could probably do the best job of piecing that together. It won't be it won't like have the Russo brothers feel to it. Like we say, we always wish we had the Russos, but
yeah,
I think John Watts, a Secret Wars movie in John Watts' hands, I think could be good. And
yeah.
Here's the thing, having a John Watts directed movie, I think Kang Dynasty would probably be a better movie then. Like if you're looking at what's coming, like I think I would enjoy Kang Dynasty a bit more than I would enjoy the John Watts movie. As a movie, like I think the action would still be wild in the John Watts movie. I think the action would probably be bigger in the John Watts movie. But just the actual movie on itself, I would look at Cretton's side like yeah, that was probably a notch above what we get here. But at the end of the day, when it comes to something like Secret Wars and what we're expecting for Secret Wars, I don't think that the most important thing is having the best film. I think it's really having the best service along with story. And that's what a good. I think that was a great balance of what they did with No Way Home. Was
100%
fan service and story. Like,
to me, it's very similar to Multiverse of Madness versus No Way Home. Like to me, Multiverse of Madness is like a clean film school masterpiece of cinema. It's very good in that regard, but it's damn sure not as fun. And it didn't get as many people excited as Spider-Man. So like, I feel like that's kind of what you're looking at. It's like, you're going to get something much tighter with Destin. And then, John Watts can just go bananas and just have all the fun with all the toys. So I think you're probably spot on with that comparison. But that's probably what's needed. Right. So
yeah, it's what's needed. And at the end of the day, in Feige, we trust, bro. Like, I mean, even we're coming to a close here with the conversation. By the way, guys, like, bro, it's ridiculous how many people we have in here right now. I never would have thought we've gotten this many people in here. But damn, can we get to 100 likes? We're at 94 likes. Let's get to 100 likes.
Can we get to 100 likes, guys? Holy shit.
Look, give me that holy shit one more time.
Holy shit.
There we go. That's what I was wondering. I was like, damn, did he hear it? But nah, that's
yeah. Sorry.
But no. But yeah, and also hit that subscribe button because we're grinding to 500 to our 500 subs. Get that community tab and everything like that. But no, just to come off to a cap, like it's all about Feige, and I think more now than ever we're seeing that he's having his ears to the ground, like, and that's giving me hopes for anything. It's something as subtle, bro, as watching that behind the scenes trailer, and he says She Hulk is 6'7". Nobody asked to know that She Hulk was 6'7". Nobody
Mhm.
really fucking cares to know that She Hulk is 6'7". But do
Right.
you know why
Yeah.
he said it? Because
Mm.
I'm pretty sure he heard that some of the criticism about the CGI, about her size, like talking about she's
Sure.
small, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Well, she's 6'7", as a response to maybe say
Oh yeah, bro. You're
reducing
right.
her size. Like,
Bro, you're right about that. He's a sniper. He's
yeah,
super smart. He knows how to play an interview. He knows that when he's being asked a question by Brandon Davis, his answer is not going out to Brandon Davis. His answer is going out to the world. So
right.
he's very intelligent and very careful about the things that he says. And yeah, it's a pleasure, dude. It's like if you're a big like I don't even know, like maybe a Kendrick fan, for
Mhm.
example, and you love Kendrick and like you've been to his shows, you read, what you listen to all his albums, you listen to his interviews. At some level, it's just an honor to be alive with him doing his thing as an artist. Like, you know what I mean? And I feel the same way about Kevin Feige. Like, it is an honor to watch this man work. And it's been really an enriching part of my life. And I'm so damn excited to see where it all goes and to see what's next. And it's different, Phase 4 is definitely different, and the idea of phases and sagas is way different, and it's bold, and we don't know if it's gonna land the same way. And like, we need our Russo brothers. Like, trust me, I feel you. Like, I want the Russo brother blanket to wrap
Right.
me up and just feel good. But at the same time, maybe there's something to it. Maybe there's a genius in kicking us out of the nest a little and making us experience this newness, right? So yeah, it's I agree that he's brilliant, and he's the whole reason. He's honestly, bro, he's the reason I'm here right now. He's the reason you're here right now doing this
Facts.
chat. So it's
Facts.
like it's crazy, bro. He's really given us a lot. So
And you know who else is giving us a lot, Josh?
hmm.
You, my brother. I want to appreciate
Thanks,
you
man.
for like actually for every single thing you do for the channel, for the feedback you give me from like coming on here doing these streams, giving me these boosts, man. Like it really goes a long way, and I really appreciate you giving me your time, especially on this morning. Like, look, I know I hopefully you got to use that Nespresso.
Yes.
We
Oh
should
yeah, dude.
to get you
Oh
going
man.
this morning, but like,
Yeah.
bro, everything going on, like, I'm going on with you personally, like with the kid coming and everything. Like, I appreciate you taking the time and hopping in the dojo with me here for this.
Absolutely,
It's
man.
absolutely dope.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, like, I appreciate literally everybody that's been so supportive over the past couple of years. And, as a community, we've been through a lot, ups and downs. But with you specifically, I just feel a kinship, a sort of kindred spirit connection, because I know how bad you want to break into in the content space, and I think your content is great. So I highly recommend everybody checks out your videos and just watches your streams and stuff, because I think it's going to be really cool for folks to like remember back. It's almost like discovering an indie band, because I
Mhm.
have I have no doubt that if you just keep at it and keep working on the craft, that you'll be doing big numbers and just have a place in the space. So I appreciate the kind words, but I also just think that, like, man, you're really, you're going after it, and I think you're making good improvements. And I know you've had a little setback recently with like sickness and everything, but I think yeah, I really recommend people check your stuff out. That same nerdy energy, you're a great communicator. You're able to break down really interesting ideas. So yeah, I just keep at it, bro.
I appreciate it. I appreciate the words of blessing. Anything else you want to touch on? Anything else you want to say before you get out of here?
No. I would just say, check out more of Kendall's stuff. I got a really big video coming out today. I'm probably gonna do just a short video where I kind of give my detailed thoughts about Destin. That might go up on the channel as well. But yeah, just keep on doing what you're doing. I appreciate everybody being here. I hope you have over 100 likes now. And yeah, that's pretty
Yeah,
much
let me
pretty
see
much
where
it.
we at on that. Look, okay, we at 117. That's what I'm talking about. Give it up
There
for
you
the
go.
chat. Give it up for the
There you
chat.
go.
There you go. And also make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. Josh, I'll let you go here and I'll close out, man.
All right,
Um,
brother.
but yeah, look, it's a great time chatting with Josh. Like it's always great to have like I'm a big fan of Josh. Been a fan for years, and it's always great to have someone like him be able to come into the dojo and talk with us like that. After you go here, make sure you go watch my last She Hulk video. Personal thing, I stayed up to like 4 o'clock last night editing it, or 3:30. and I effed up and posted it this morning. And I thought I scheduled it to post at like 8 this morning, 9 this morning. It posted at 3:30 this morning. So it's taking a little bit of a hit, bruh. It's taking a little bit of a hit. So if you don't mind, do me a favor and go watch that video after this. You don't even gotta watch it. You just let it play in the background. Just let the algo know that people are actually interested in that video. But regardless, thank you all for being here. Look, like I said, this is going to be a new thing every other Wednesday morning. So the next stream will be the next Wednesday morning stream will be at 9:30 2 weeks from now. So the best thing to do is hit that notification bell so you know that we're streaming. And then also as well on Wednesday nights, on those off weeks, on Wednesday nights, we will be streaming at 9:30 that evening. So we're going to be flip flopping mornings to evenings, and I actually kind of like that. Like I said, I feel like I'm more of a morning personality, my doggone self, than I am a night personality. But it's going to be fun. It's definitely going to be a fun ride as the shows come out to have these things happen on Wednesdays. But with that being said, it's been a great show. It's been a good time, but we got to get on out of here. Thanks for watching. As I always say, go out somewhere, show somebody something nerdy, whether it's Star Wars, whether it's DC. Be a little hesitant with DC, but especially the MCU. Go out there, show something to a normie. Go out there, show somebody the movie, make them a normie, bring them here. We will turn them into nerds. I love each and every single one of you all who've been in here. Again, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see y'all on the next video. You don't have to wait long to see. I'll see y'all soon. Chipmunk in the building. Yo, what's up, Chill? Veda's Layers in the building earlier too. Quentin, what's good, y'all? Jeff Blanton was popping. John was popping. Ty was popping. All of y'all good folks. It's good seeing y'all here. Bento was popping. Dirty, what's up, man? Johnny Green, good to see you in the building. Mike, I always got you out there, man. Yo, Sebastian, I'm glad you came to talk back to John, what's going on, bro? Patrick Ray, Sozu's Thomas, what is going on, y'all? Thanks for being in here. Eric Shaw, Paul Richardson, Jedi King, Don, all of y'all are pretty cool. If I'm missing anybody, talking to my head, not my heart. Omni fan, where's Poppy Go? Those finger bars are there. We're not in there. We gotta get up out of here. But look, like I said, go watch the She-Hulk video. Much love, thanks for support.